Greetings to another video. Today we've got another climb, all-out effort on Rosedale Chimney. So it's 1.3k, average grading 13.5, max grading 33 and 181 meters total elevation gain. So if you don't know, Rosedale Chimney is, I think it's tied with HARDKNOTT Pass as the hardest climb in, I don't know whether it's England or the UK. I guess like toughest, steepest, because it hits gradients of 33%. Actually, it must have been England because I know there is a steep one in Wales. Potentially, I will go and do it when we're all able to get out and travel more. If you would want to see that, that is very, very steep. But yeah, today's climb, we've got Rosedale Chimney, which is in Pickering in North Yorkshire. So I did this 3 weeks ago now, obviously when we're allowed to travel. And yeah, this is the effort. So the first time I've ever done it, and I actually we went over to York. There were 3 of us, and we just basically cycled out and back just to be able to do this climb. And we actually came up to it on the opposite side. We were going to do a big loop round to fit it in, and then it was winter, it was cold, and we were just like fair weather riders that day, and we were like, shall we just get the shortest way there? So the shortest way there we ended up was basically just going, there's a vlog of this, I'll leave a link to it if you want to watch it, was basically going up the other side of it. So the other side of the climb is much more gentle, and that is, I've got the stats written down, 3.58 kilometres and an average of 5%, and that's going from the south, whereas this is obviously the opposite side. So we'd already cycled down this, so we were like, okay, that's pretty steep going down, so we kind of knew what was to come. However, you don't really know how hard it's going to be until you're actually on it. But that is why I love climbs. I love the surprise. It's like the Kinder surprise of climbs, because you never really know what it's going to feel like until you are on that climb. Because that's the thing with gradients, I guess, as well, is that yeah, that's how I kind of work everything. So for me now, if I'm like, someone says, oh, it's a steep climb, I'm like, well, how steep? So I can kind of like gauge it in my head. Whereas because I've done these steeper climbs, this is definitely what I would suggest you do. If you are wanting to get better on climbs, is do the steeper ones, because then the flatter ones, I say flatter, like the 10%ers, don't seem anywhere near as bad. And so as you can see now, it's already kicking up to like 9-10%. And my cadence, so yeah, let's talk about that as I always do. So we've got cadence on the left hand side with my power, and then we've got the actual segment on the right with my speed and the gradient. So yeah, and I guess I say on this it's an all-out effort. I guess it is, but it's not, because I can never really do a really good all-out effort until I've done the climb before, so I can kind of gauge it better. And again, if you're looking for a really good time on a segment, then I would always recommend going and doing it a few times first, maybe not on the same day, but just like recceing it, so you know where the steep bits are, you know where the tough bits are, and you know where the best lines to take are in the road, because this is definitely needed. Who am I waving? Oh, saying thank you. I was like, who am I waving to? But there was just a guy in the car who waited for us. So yeah. Also as well, I mean, you'll see my cadence is a lot lower than I'd normally like. You know that I like spinning, and that's why I always get this question, what cassette and gear ratios I've got. I've got a compact at the front. I run a Shimano Ultegra, which is 50-34, and then I've actually got a 40 on the back. Before you ask, because I always get asked this, there is a complete whole video on this on my channel. Just search my name and 40 cassette, and there'll be a whole video talking about how I set that up. So let's get back onto the steep section. So here we are on, I think we come up to one of the first little bends. Yeah, we're on the first bend there. And my friend Dave, who you'll see in a second, is he there? Yeah, he's there. He's down a bit. He set off like an absolute rocket, and we're like, Dave, chill out. You know this is going to get steep. To be fair to him, he had a 28 cassette on, and he was just trying to power up it. And obviously you can see from there, he got a little bit tired. So this is where it really starts to ramp up, and I'm actually taking the outside line. I can see that there's no cars coming. I can hear there's no cars coming behind me. I'm pointing at the screen. You can't see this. Because obviously that really inside bend is very, very, very steep. And at this point, I'm like, I don't know how much steeper this is going to get. All I know is it's going to get a lot steeper. So yeah, again, I think it's tied with HARDKNOTT Pass in the Lakes. I think they both hit around 33%. And to be fair, I think the 33% is right on that little bend. So you won't necessarily see the 33% hit on the gradient on the bottom right hand of the screen. But the problem with this like 33% or the steep section of this is it's very straight. There isn't actually like a hairpin. It's just straight on, really, really steep, and you're going to see me struggling. And again, this happened again on the last climb that I did, my legs, I'd just done a lot of Zwifting and I'd just done a lot of stuff, and my legs just, I was like, am I really going to do it today? And I was like, well, I'm here, I've got to give it a go. And that is, again, something I would always recommend that you do, is like, even when you're not feeling, just give stuff a go, because you never know. And I think for me, it's the unknown. So here we're getting on to, this is the steepest section. You can see I'm pushing like 370 watts, 370, 380 watts. Like, honestly, that bit is so steep, and I'm like having to zigzag because my front wheel, I'm just trying to balance the bike. And when you've got a climb that is so steep, it's more about, you know, I guess agility of keeping the bike upright, because again, if you're seated on a climb that steep, your front wheel's going to pop up, and if you're too far forward, your back wheel can kind of lose a little bit of traction. So it's just about getting used to that, and you only get used to that just by doing the climbs. And I've talked about this before, I used to get really scared and nervous on steep climbs of like falling off. And yeah, I know a lot of you do, because you tell me this and you message me on Instagram and ask me like tips and advice, and all I would say to that is you just have to go and practice. And I wish that I'd got more confident to get out of the saddle before, because getting out of the saddle does make it a lot easier. I think for me, I was just worrying about unclipping in time to, you know, if it got too steep. But you just got to keep trying, and you do get used to it. And now I feel like I would give pretty much anything a go, because I do feel a lot more confident on steep stuff, because I kind of know what I can do, if that makes sense. But again, also as well, make sure you're clipped in as well, because I think having that ability to kind of pull up and push as much power as you possibly can is just the best thing. Also, my cadence is so low. I would normally try and get my cadence, especially if it was an all-out effort, between like 1800, and as you can see here, I am not doing that. But I am just so happy at this point. You can see this is not an all-out effort. I'm doing like 200 watts. But I'm just so happy that I've got up this climb, because I was like, oh, am I even going to do it? And I think because I knew I'd done HARDKNOTT, I just got a little bit scared. Like, what if I can't do this one? What if this one's worse? I actually think that HARDKNOTT is harder. So if you're going to go and do the two, maybe do this one first as a kind of a bit of a warm-up to doing HARDKNOTT. Because you gotta I just love climbs. I just love how they push it. And look at that view. That view is insanely good. I love watching these videos, but not because I'm there struggling, looking like a gangly, I don't know, my arms look ridiculous, but I just love seeing the views. Like, I love seeing that backwards, and I think that's what you don't ever normally get, obviously, when you're climbing up them, unless you've descended them like we did. So we got the view twice, but it's just absolutely incredible. Really pretty. I mean, would I travel all that way again just for the climb? Probably not. I would do it for HARDKNOTT, but I wouldn't necessarily do it for this one, because it's quite short and it's over quite quickly, and the steep bit is only a very short section of it. So yeah, it's actually number 55 of Simon Warren's 100 official climbs in the UK. I mean, it's brilliant. I would definitely recommend it, because it is very pretty, and it was a pretty chilly day actually, and it was actually really nice up there. But yeah, it's just incredible. It's so it's just amazing. You know that I love climbs. But obviously I know at the minute we're not able to kind of travel that far. So if there's any other climbs that you would really want me to do that are potentially around, well, they'll need to be in Greater Manchester, then let me know, and I am more than happy to keep doing these videos, because I think you like watching me suffer and hopefully hearing some of my tips. I'll go over the bike again. I always use the same bike for doing these hill climbs, like these efforts, and that is the Ribble Endurance SL. I've got 25mm tyres on there, the Michelin Power Road, really nice, fast, really grippy tyres. And now we are aiming for the end of the segment, so I'll just go over my stats for it. So total, it was an average of 238 watts, took me 14 minutes 44 seconds. My max power was 387 watts, as you saw on the very, very steep bit, and my average cadence was 69, which is very low, as you can tell from how steep it was. So yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you next video.
That's the worst bit though, isn't it?
Yeah. There we
Look, I did it! Yeah!